Sometimes, if you listen really hard, you can almost hear it.
Our first ever instant star is...
You're it, girl. You're the real thing.
That moment your life changes.
It's about a girl who is just about to fly off and see the world.
Forever.
Jude Harrison!
Hello and welcome to The Breakdown, an Instant Star Rewatch podcast. As always, I am joined by my wonderful co-host, Sam.
And I'm here with the beautiful, as always, Chloe.
And today, we are recapping the finale of Season 1, Episode 13, Should I Stay or Should I Go?
I've been doing that all
Sam is
week.
singing.
Yes, I was singing and head moving. Sorry, guys. I've been doing that all week.
Original air date, April 24th, 2005. So just think, we're recording this on the 8th of April, so I can't do maths, but we're coming up for nearly the 15-year anniversary of this episode airing.
Oh my God. That makes me feel so old.
Same.
God,
Oh,
have I only been out of high school for almost 15 years?
it's crazy. Yeah. What were your thoughts on this episode?
I love this episode. It's one of my most favorite episodes of the season.
Really?
Just for Jude. Because I feel like, especially by the end, she's realizing that she can't, well, for obvious reasons, she can't go with Tommy. She can't have Tommy come with her. And because Jamie backs out on her. But she realizes that she needs to do this alone.
Yeah.
At least for 6 weeks. She needs to find herself without Jamie and Tommy and Kat and her parents and everybody. I mean, I think Tommy had said EJ was going to be with her as a chaperone. But how much of a chaperone is EJ? And so she's really going to be alone, and it's a good chance for her to find herself. I think that's why we see so much growth between season 1 and season 2, because they play with that she grew up a lot on the road.
Yeah. It's interesting, when I knew we were coming up to recap this episode, my memory of this episode was I didn't really like it very much, mainly because of the Jamie content. But
Yeah.
when I actually watched it to do the recap, I really enjoyed it, and I had never really noticed before how it was Jude's, like the beginning of Jude's transformation to do things alone. I'd never picked up on that before then.
Yeah. I remember watching it in the past, not liking it just because of the pop-up guest and the Jamie content and everything that happens with Tommy. And it had never been one of my favorite episodes up until rewatching it for the podcast.
Yeah.
For this.
Finales are weird because I can't remember who I heard say this, but maybe it was on another Rewatch podcast, but finales are weird because often the episode before a finale is way better. There's more drama, and then the finale kind of ties everything together. But actually, there was quite a lot of drama in this finale.
Yeah. I felt like there was a lot of drama, but I definitely think Train and Vane wrapped up most of the stuff that had been building up for most of the season.
Yeah. Well, the official synopsis, which is no longer from Wikipedia because the air dates were wrong, is what a long, strange trip it's been for Jude Harrison, instant star, and it's about to get even stranger as she prepares for her summer tour. That's it. What's Amazon's?
The same thing except for what's it going to do? What's it going to do when faced with a shocking offer from ex-boyfriend Shay? Had to add that in. I'm like, damn it.
Well, I think it's your turn to do the recap.
No, I did last one.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I have such a bad memory? I'll do this one then. Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No memory. It's terrible. See, my grey hair and my lack of memory, I'm older than I look. Well, Jude arrives at the airport holding 2 plane tickets, reflecting on, is it her year? 6 months? I'm not really sure. Probably be a year.
Yeah, I think they said a year. No, she said what a 6 months it's been.
It was a lot to cram into 6 months.
I know, I thought it was a year.
I was just thinking, how long does it take to make an album?
It normally takes about a year.
Yeah.
We'll say year. We
We'll
might
see.
be wrong. We'll say year.
If we're wrong, correct us. She has to make a choice about which plane ticket to use. We then flash back to the days leading up to her airport decision. Jude's album arrives at G Major and she's planning for her release party and a nightclub tour. Darius isn't happy about such a small tour and wants her to open for a bigger act. In the real world, school is finishing up for the summer. Kat is off to New York for a fashion internship, and she's surprised that Jamie isn't going on tour with Jude. That is, until she discovers Jude hasn't invited Jamie. Jamie and Jude find Jude's album in the record store, and Jamie gets emotional about having to say goodbye to Jude for the summer. So many thoughts. Jude is worrying to Tommy about the size of her tour, but Tommy reassures her that it's perfect for her. Jude invites Tommy on tour with her, but he answers a secretive phone call before he can answer Jude. Jude's dad comes round for family dinner before Sadie goes to Europe and Jude goes on tour, but Jude and Sadie leave their parents to it so they can sort their stuff out. Sadie also takes a secretive phone call. Sadie and Tommy go to the movies, and Sadie invites Tommy to Rome. But Sadie implies that Tommy is her boyfriend, and things get awkward. Jude and Jamie are hanging out, and Jude makes Jamie's year by inviting him on tour with her. He obviously agrees. Jude and Jamie catch Jude's parents having sex on the couch. Gross. So they rush outside and run into Shay. He invites Jude on his tour as his opening act, wanting to put the past behind them. Tommy is stressing about Sadie calling him her boyfriend, and Quest questions if he's really over Jude, letting Tommy know that Shay is back in Jude's life anyway. Kat talks to Jamie about telling Jude how he feels before it's too late. Jude's parents let her know that they weren't reconciling last night. They were saying goodbye and announced they're getting a divorce. Jude tearfully leaves for her release party, and she still hasn't decided which tour to do. Jude and Sadie discuss their parents' divorce, but not before Sadie lets Jude know that she's seeing someone. And Jude lets Sadie know that she's been having feelings for Tommy again, and tells her that they kissed at her birthday. By the way, Sadie, where were you?
Yeah.
Jude joins the dots together that the secretive phone calls between Tommy and Sadie are between the both of them together, and it all comes to a head when Tommy arrives. He goes after Sadie to explain, and she leaves the party. Jude lets Tommy know that she's been falling for Tommy again and asks him to choose who he wants. Tommy leaves the party and apologizes to Sadie, inviting himself to go to Italy with her. Jude and Jamie are at the airport running late. Jude decides to do the Shay tour, but Jamie announces that he's not going to go on tour with Jude and lets her know that he wants them to be together. Jude is about to get on the Shay tour, but she changes her mind and runs back to Jamie to let him know she's going to do the nightclub tour by herself. No Tommy, no Shay, no Jamie. Jude and Jamie make out in the airport, and she heads off on tour to figure out her journey on her own. That's the episode.
That's the episode.
What did you have for the theme? I just had invitations because everybody was inviting everybody everywhere. /
Yes.
choices because everyone had decisions to make.
Yes, I had invitation, choices, and finding yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on in this episode.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like not as big of a deal was made about Jude's album coming out. Like, yeah, she had a release party, but the CDs arrived at G Major and then they were like in the store. I was like, okay, well,
Yeah,
there'd be a
like
bigger
that was
build-up.
it. Like that was it. There was no big hoo-ha.
No. I guess the big party was the episode before when everyone was at the studio.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that works, but I feel like there should have been a bigger deal made about her album.
Yeah, and
They
even in the
were
release
made.
party, it didn't really talk about it.
No. And we were only there for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So,
interesting how nice Kat is being about Jude and Jamie.
yeah.
Like, justice for Kat, seriously. I feel like her and Jamie are perfect together, like she says.
Yes.
But
I
what-
really wish that I mean, in coming seasons, Jamie goes through a lot. And I wish somehow it would have came back to him and Kat.
yes, that was so cool. I feel like they never really got their relationship off the ground. It was just crash and burn.
Yeah.
I think that Jude's parents divorcing is a good thing. Because
Yes.
all they've done for the entire season 1 is argue or
Not
argue,
talk.
just yell at each other.
Yes.
What do you think about Sadie calling Tommy her boyfriend and Tommy freaking out?
I feel like that's such a guy thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say I see where he's coming from, and I mean, I see where she's coming from, because in her mind, at 18, you're going out on dates with this guy, you're doing whatever with this guy. Okay. I mean, it doesn't always have to be, will you be my girlfriend, will you be my boyfriend type of situation. But for him to react the way he did, I'm like, that's a little childish. And yeah, how old again?
Yeah. And then when Quest says, you are over Jude, and he's clearly not.
Exactly.
Oh,
Which
Tommy.
in turn makes me feel bad for Sadie, because I'm like, he knows he's not over Jude. So he knows that in a way he's just settling for second best
Yeah.
right now. And that's not fair to any of them.
Yeah.
So,
What do you think about the big reveal at the release party where everybody finds out that Sadie and Tommy are seeing each other and Jude and Tommy kissed? It's not the best environment to find out.
no, I feel like that definitely was not the time or place it should have happened. But it needed to happen. Just not then and there.
And then Tommy went after Sadie. I mean, he must care about her to choose to go after her instead of Jude.
Yeah, that was the one thing I was thinking of. I mean, all season long, we see him pick Jude over basically everything else. And for the first time all season, we see him pick something else over Jude.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as much as I'm not a fan of the Sadie and Tommy relationship, I understand it. And, watching it now, I'm like, he at least does care about her.
Yeah. And Jude put Tommy in a difficult position when she says, "Who do you want? Can you make up your mind?" It's like,
Yeah.
you obviously can't have her.
Exactly.
She's throwing her teenage diva fit.
Temper tantrum. Yes.
What did you think about Jude and Jamie this episode? This is why I don't like this episode. It grates on me because all of a sudden Jamie is super emotional that Jude's leaving for the summer. And
Jamie
I just don't buy it.
annoys me. I can't help it. I really have been trying to not let Jamie get to me. But then I watched this episode and I'm just like, I can't stand you. You're so annoying.
I just don't buy his supposed feelings.
No.
They're good friends. I agree with that, but anything else, I don't get it.
I mean, I can see the friendship. I understand the friendship. That I get. But anything more than that, I feel like it's just teenage hormones and him wanting a girlfriend.
Yep. Yeah. And he can't see Kat, who's right in front of him, who's perfect for him.
Perfect for him, yeah.
Let's talk about Shay turning up.
Shay's another one. I was like, I'm going to go in. I'm going to give him a fresh chance. I'm not going to let previous experiences ruin him for me. No. Every time he shows up, I just want to punch my TV.
I don't know, maybe he was being genuine, but if Jude had chosen the Shay tour, it would have been a bad idea.
Oh, it would have been horrible.
Yeah. I think she made the right choice to just go on her own tour.
Yeah. I think the Shay tour would have been too much way too soon.
Absolutely.
Just being around him, being that it was a stadium tour, being that Darius was in control of it, it just would have been too much too soon.
Yeah, I agree. And Shay probably would have tried to start things up again, and that would have just, yeah.
Definitely.
Let's get into our likes and dislikes. I actually didn't have many of either this episode.
I didn't either.
What were your likes?
Jude going on bar tour to find herself.
That's the only one.
Yeah.
I didn't even have that one. In my likes, I wrote that I love Kat and Jamie together, because I do.
Yeah. Kat and Jamie.
More of like a filming but I like when the flowers get delivered to Jude's house and the van pulls away and Tommy's like hiding behind the van, basically.
That's cool.
What were your dislikes?
Shay.
I didn't even have Shay. What?
Shay and Jamie. But
yeah, Jamie suddenly getting sentimental about Jude leaving.
Yes.
The gross makeout scene in the airport, way over the top.
Yes.
And Jude's ignorance about the secretive phone calls that she's witnessed. It's like, come on, put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, it's like 2 + 2. Hello.
Yeah.
And the fact that they pretty much say the same exact thing on the phone calls.
Exactly. I guess ignorance is bliss.
I guess.
Did you have any funnies?
Well, I had this as a funny and a what the fuck moment. I just put her pants sleeping together.
You're gonna love my funny.
Okay.
Tommy says he's not a roadie, which is why he can't go on tour with Jude. But he's literally been the sound guy for nearly all of Jude's performances.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I think he might be a roadie, Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy, you're a roadie.
What were your what the fuck moments?
Just her pants sleeping together.
I had 3, but I've just thought of one more. What the fuck is a nightclub tour?
Yes, that's a good one.
Who plays nightclubs? Like, nightclubs are about loud music, but not music with bands. It's just nightclub music. I don't get it. Maybe they meant a bar tour, which would make more sense.
Yeah. I always took it as a bar tour, so.
Yeah, nightclubs? What? Where are Jude and Tommy having coffee? It's literally above a road. Like, above a main road.
Yes.
Such a weird location. When Jude's at the airport and she is gonna do the Shea tour, but then chooses the nightclub tour, wouldn't her bags already be on a plane?
Yeah.
Like, if you're going on tour, you bring a lot of luggage, and before you board the plane, your luggage is already on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
This is me thinking way too deep into it. But... And was Jamie's invite on tour a pity invite? Because she did invite Tommy first.
Dude, Jamie's invite was a total pity invite.
Like, if Tommy had said yes, Jamie would never have been invited.
No. Not at all.
I like Jude, but she treats Jamie like crap sometimes.
Yes, she does.
And he's just crazy in love with her.
Which I don't understand.
I'm interested to see who your heroes and villains were. I actually really struggled to find either.
I couldn't.
Mine are kind of random because I couldn't.
Like, I couldn't find a hero or villain. I'm like, this episode was really hard to pick certain things.
My hero was Kat, which, I mean, she's not even really the hero, but she is kind of the voice of reason again. With Jamie, at least. I couldn't really think of anyone else who would be a hero in this episode.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And my villain, again, I struggled, was Tommy. Just because he's been playing not only 2 girls, but 2 sisters.
Yes.
And staying secretive about it. And he obviously still has feelings for Jude. But he's been dating Sadie, but not committing to being her boyfriend. It's like, it's a mess. That was a hard decision. I couldn't choose.
Yeah.
There was no real, like, bad guy or good guy in this episode.
Mm-mm.
Let's get into our song review for Temporary Insanity.
I'm interested to see what you gave it.
Well, the memory of this song that I have is that I don't really like it. However, I made a shocking realization when I watched this episode. To recap, I gave the song a 7 out of 10. And as I was listening to the performance, I realized that this song in the fandom is known as like the Jude and Jamie song, isn't it? Like the song that all the Jude and Jamie fan videos have been made to. But the lyrics, and I literally only put this together yesterday, the lyrics talk about the 108 kiss between Jude and Tommy.
Yeah.
So it's a Jommy song.
Yes.
Which is, did you already know that? Because I realized that yesterday and it was wild to me.
No, I just put it together when I watched it yesterday. I was like, oh my God.
Like, whoa, why?
Anymore.
I haven't realized this for so many years. What?
It's like I always realized like that what just happened is You Kiss Me like never really fit Jude and Jamie and Jude.
Yeah, because I always think the airport But they haven't kissed at the airport yet.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I don't get how else that fits them. But then I'm like, I couldn't make it fit until I watched it, and I was like, wait.
And then when she's like, do we
Oh.
pretend these feelings don't exist? That's exactly what they agreed on after the kiss. Like, my mind was blown.
Yes. My mind was just.
My mind is still blown, to be honest. Don't know how I never put it together.
I don't know.
What did you give this one?
I gave it an 8 just because I was like, I don't know if that was more because it blew my mind that I finally put it together, or if I was just, I think I gave it an 8 and not a 7 because it just blew my mind. I was like, holy shit, it's a zombie song.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I'm still just shocked by it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Sorry, Jude and Jamie fans.
Yeah, I mean, maybe other people have already made this connection, but I literally made the connection yesterday, so.
Yeah, we might be a little slow on this one.
I guess so. Okay, let's get into pop culture. Should I Stay or Should I Go is a song by The Clash. I feel like everybody knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie says, don't get all Wizard of Oz on me. Wizard of Oz is a children's fantasy novel from 1900. Crazy. And obviously the famous 1939 movie. Quest says, unless that B stands for Barry Manilow, I don't get the problem. Barry Manilow is a American singer. And Quest says, she looks like Barbie. You've had the Barbie reference before, but I think it was towards Eden. So Barbie is a fashion doll that launched in 1959. Wasn't much pop culture this episode. I feel like most pop culture comes from Jamie, and if Jamie doesn't say a lot in an episode, then you don't get a lot of pop culture.
Right.
Did you have anything?
Just the should I stay or should I go? And the Barbie.
I love how every episode is named after a song.
I do too.
What were your favorite quotes?
When they're having coffee and Jude says, you know, I'm the best when I'm with you, and Tommy says ditto.
Yes, I had that too. Was that your only one?
Yeah.
I had a few. I had that one, and I had, you know how long I've waited to hold my own CD in my hand? As someone who's just published a book, I feel like that with my book. Like, it's crazy to just hold it in your hand and like look at the pages.
Yes.
When Tommy says, were you going to tell me you were doing the Shea tour? And Jude says, were you going to tell me that you're doing my sister? And then the last quote of the episode where Jude says, that's the thing about journeys. Sometimes the only road to choose is your own.
Yes.
Love to know what your hashtag iconic is. I really struggled to find one.
I did too. I finally went with, it's not so much a scene as it's when Tommy walks up to Jude and Sadie at the record release party. Just kind of three of them like looking back and forth between each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that's quite iconic for what they then say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't pick one. I just had Jude deciding to head off on her own at the airport.
So.
Because it's kind of her growth into the next season.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this episode was the hardest one to find certain things.
Definitely.
Wonder why.
I thought the pilot was hard. I didn't think anything would be harder than the pilot, but then we got to this one. I was like, never mind.
I found the pilot easy because the pilot is so iconic, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, let's spin the wheel for most likely to. who is most likely to try to lift something heavy on their own?
Jamie.
I'm going to say Kat, because she's so short and I'm a short person and I feel like I'm always struggling.
Yeah, Jamie and Kat.
And I had that image of when she's carrying the big volcano by herself.
Yes.
Or Jamie, because he wants to always prove that he's like
Macho Man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was our recap of episode 13. We have recapped the whole of season 1.
Yay!
We did it! But we're not going to roll straight into season 2. We have a couple of bonus season 1 fun episodes to do first.
Yes.
Which I'm very excited about. So thank you for listening and following us on social media. And we will talk to you soon.
Yes. Be on the lookout for those bonus episodes coming.
Yes, in the next couple of weeks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to The Breakdown, an Instant Star Rewatch podcast. The Breakdown was produced by me, Chloe, and Neon Network Production. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and listen to all episodes of The Breakdown on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. See you next time.